So, Gemini 2 Flash finally released, and by doing so, pretty much deleting anything else below it, because it's not only a powerful model, but it is damn cheap too. In fact, value-wise, it is unbeatable. DeepSeek was celebrated not even that long ago as a value king at such performance tier, and even the DeepSeek V3 version would be 3 times more expensive than Gemini 2 Flash. And I must emphasize the importance of value, because seemingly everyone's just trying to be at the top of the list, and I would get that, because there are a lot of eyeballs on it. But suppose you want to use an AI to get the job done for a reasonable price, now you would need to really consider if you need something more powerful than Flash, because the price goes up like crazy. So we can see Gemini Flash is 0.1 in and 0.4 out for all windows, right? All context windows. You can even, which I'm quite a fan of, use this freely quite a lot. So 15 per minute per day, up to 1,500. Essentially, this means that Gemini Flash is the best free AI you can use. If you just want to do a thing that needs to be, I don't know, called like 15 times per minute, then Gemini Flash is going to be great for that. Presumably, there's going to be a light version. It's currently not released. That's going to be half the price. And their old Flash over here was it had a more confusing pricing. But basically, if the token window was big, then you had to pay more. And if it was smaller, then you had to pay a little bit less. But it was also dumber, so yeah. So Gemini 2 Flash is definitely an improvement upon those. A very slight detour that the Gemini 2 Flash thinking is actually extremely powerful as well. Albeit it's not released, but you can use it 10 times per minute for free. Still, I would not recommend using it for a real project for now. But I was using it quite a bit, because when you use O1 and O3, they might give you limitations, especially if you suppose you use the free version. And DeepSeek R1 oftentimes also possibly could be slow to answer, but also sometimes doesn't even answer since it got popular, because I suppose a lot of people are using it. So Gemini 2 Flash thinking could be a great alternative, at least if you can't use the other ones. But the most important takeaway here is the price, because we got Gemini Flash here, which is 0.1 in and 0.4 out for all context windows. And it's mostly competing with DeepSeek V3, which is 3 times more expensive. Then we have Kuben 2.5 Max, which would be 16 times more expensive. Truly the most relevant competitor would be DeepSeek R1, which is like 5.5 times more expensive. And then you have O3, which is double the price of DeepSeek R1, so 11 times more expensive. And then you have O1, which is kind of a joke and irrelevant, so that's 150 times more expensive. I suppose we can consider Claude too, but you would not use it as an API. It is possibly the option you use with your GitHub Copilot subscription. Effectively, this means that Gemini 2 Flash puts an insane pricing pressure on at least everything below it, but anything that is possibly even near it. And unless you truly need the best, so to speak, it's really hard to consider other options. So R1 even would be 5.5 times more expensive. I'm considering even O3 Mini high for twice the price. Above that is gonna be usually hard to justify. And suppose even you want to chat and prefer to not use the AI Studio, they updated their regular chat to include Flash and I suppose the thinking version as well. It is hard to emphasize the importance of this because the list is just full of rip-off AIs. Even Google's last Pro model, Gemini 1.5 Pro, is up to 25 times more expensive than their current Gemini 2 Flash. OpenAI especially is world-renowned for offering terrible value. So to reiterate, value-wise, you probably should be picking Gemini 2 Flash for almost all cases. If you can really justify it, then DeepSeek R1 could be the choice, perhaps. Otherwise, the main use case for O3 Mini, in my opinion, would be if you need faster replies than DeepSeek R1 gives you. Because aside from coding that you're presumably not going to use it for as an API, it is pretty much tying with R1. I'm personally hoping to see more. I'm not sure if I would use the word cheap, but very, very good value APIs. Especially I would love to see this Gemini 2 Flash thinking come out near the price of Gemini 2 Flash and put pressure on the top guys, I suppose. Additionally, one aspect that we shouldn't overlook, and I very much like, that it gives you 15 requests per minute or 1,500, or that is the other limitation, requests per day. Now, this not only further knocks down the price, but this essentially means that you can basically integrate Gemini Flash for your little bit of projects for free, and if they happen to scale at one point, then you're not gonna feel bad about that. So yeah, O1 can come out and possibly take the crown at the top of the leaderboard, but personally, I'm more interested in value models, because Gemini Flash, compared to it, would be 150 times cheaper. And the thing is, you might not even need a very smart model, which Flash certainly is fairly smart. But if you can get the job done with a cheaper model, then it makes sense to use it. And also, Gemini Flash is pretty fast too. But also, ultimately, you would have to ask yourself, would choosing a more expensive model would do X times better job? Like, would choosing O1 be 150 times better or something? Which would be unlikely.